Hey guys, it's Phil Mackey here hanging out in the Hammond Stadium press box, the 1500 ESPN broadcast booth. Twins are up in Dunedin today playing the Blue Jays. They've got a couple more home games this week, and then they play the Marlins in Jupiter on Friday. Still too early to really break down a lot of these competitions. The second base, shortstop, center field, fourth and fifth starter spots. We need to see 2 or 3 weeks worth of spring games before we can really sort a lot of those positions out, but let me at least give you guys an update on some of the positives. We'll start with some of the optimistic stuff and some of the good things I keep hearing in my few days down here so far. A lot of young pitchers in the mix, not just in the mix for the starting rotation, but in the mix for 2014, 2015. Alex Meyer, Kyle Gibson, who obviously has a chance to crack the 25-man roster. But I keep hearing a lot of really good things about Trevor May, who was one of the 2 pitchers the Twins acquired in the trade for Ben Revere from Philadelphia, Vance Worley being the other one. Big-bodied guy, tall frame. I want to say he's 6'5", 6'6", throws hard, and has a track record of striking out more than a batter per inning throughout the minor leagues. Hasn't pitched above Double-A. Sort of lost it a little bit last year in the Phillies organization, lost the control, slid down on a lot of the prospect ranking lists, but he was still regarded, even after a down year last year, as one of the best prospects, pitching prospects in the Phillies organization. And just talking to decision makers behind the scenes here, people rave about him. People rave about his ability to use that big-bodied frame as leverage to throw downhill and to pump the strike zone. And people like his off-speed stuff, like his makeup. You know, a lot of cliche baseball terms here, but the point is, Trevor May, compared to Alex Meyer and J.O. Barrios and some of the other ones, Alex Wimmers is still recovering from Tommy John surgery. But Trevor May has a legitimate shot at being in the big leagues sometime, maybe even before the All-Star break, because he's already pitched at Double-A, so he's somebody to keep an eye on. I hear a lot of good things about Justin Morneau, his off-season. This is the first time, in fact, I talked to Justin Morneau yesterday. This is the first time in 4 off-seasons he's gone through without rehab, without surgeries, without concussions or anything to have to worry about. 4 months of strength training. He rested the wrist up until January before swinging a bat because the wrist was still bothering him throughout the season last year. But you know, we're talking about a former American League MVP, a guy before the concussions in 2010 and 2011 was for 3 months in 2010 the best hitter in baseball, leading the league in batting average. Slugging percentage was over 600 that season. Now, you can't realistically expect him to go back to being that guy, even if he is fully healthy this year, because he's 31 years old, going to be 32 in the middle of the season. But the reason why it's so important for both sides is because if Morneau's fully healthy, number one, the Twins can get something of value for him before July 31st at the trade deadline if they want to move him. If they don't get what they want for Morneau and he has a big season, then you can hang on to him throughout the end of the year and offer him the 1-year, $13 million qualifying offer that allows you to gain draft pick compensation if he signs somewhere else. Or, if he's healthy and productive and has a big season, you can always hold on to him for a couple of years and maybe milk the back end of his prime. So, and on top of the fact, from Morneau's side, he's in a contract year. This is the first time that he's ever really been in a contract year, and probably the last big contract he has a chance to sign. So, all things positive so far on him, and he's going to be gearing up for the WBC, which starts next week. In fact, the Twins are going to lose 13 players from camp to the World Baseball Classic. And really, you might think that would throw a wrench into your schedule, your practice schedule, the reps, but talking to people here, it sounds like the only thing they're really worried about is for the catchers, Drew Butera and Joe Mauer, that they're going to miss time catching and getting to know some of these newer, younger pitchers. And I mentioned Vance Worley a little bit earlier. Vance Worley, 25 years old, coming over from the Phillies. Had a chance to sit down and talk with him for a while this morning. And it's amazing how much he picked up from Cole Hamels, Roy Halladay, Roy Oswalt, Cliff Lee, those big stud pitchers from the Phillies. Learned how to throw a cutter. You know, he's actually mixing in a split-fingered fastball this year. Learned about work ethic from a Roy Halladay. Now, obviously, if Vance Worley could turn into even 75% of what any of those stud pitchers in Philadelphia are, the Twins are going to be in good shape. But it's more likely he falls in long-term as a number 3 or maybe a number 2 type starter. He also, if Scott Diamond is healthy, and you rank these starting pitchers 1 through 5 or 1 through 7, depending on how many you want to add to your list, Vance Worley is probably the Twins' best starting pitcher. It probably makes sense to start him on opening day, even though I could see the Twins going with the veteran angle with Kevin Correa. Either way, you're facing Justin Verlander most likely in that first game of the season against the Detroit Tigers. So good things on May, good things on Morneau, good things on Vance Worley, like I said. Scott Diamond threw another bullpen session today, and he appears to be he's back on track and throwing bullpens. It's unknown when he's going to actually start in a spring game. Little Birdie did tell me that Kyle Gibson will be making a spring start sometime in the next few days, which shows you that the Twins obviously think highly enough to put him in one of those 5 starting roles for now. But we got to see some more baseball here over the next couple weeks. Got to see Aaron Hicks more often. Got to see Joe Benson. We already sort of know what Darren Mastriani is. Really want to see if Pedro Florimon can handle the bat enough. Saw him slap a double down the left field line as a left-handed batter a couple games ago and leg went out. Got to be able to put the ball in play and make contact and move runners around at the very least and hit 240 or 250 if you want to make that slick glove relevant on a nightly basis. And Brian Dozier, socks down this year. Socks down, trimmed up the hair. Well, maybe he means business a little bit more. We'll check back in soon. Follow all the coverage at 1500ESPN.com. It's Mackey signing out from Hammond Stadium.